good afternoon, good day, good all that type of stuff. Welcome back to another live stream. See some people already in here. Retracer on Twitch, how you doing? Produced by Fawn. You said what's good? How you doing? Doing great over here. Hope you guys are doing well as well. Yeah, we're gonna get started here pretty shortly. Started on time today, finally. So yeah, if you're new to the stream, if this is your first time stumbling on this, if you happen to be watching this as a replay later on YouTube or Twitch, if you're not familiar with who I am and what we do, my name is El Marquis. I'm a musician, rapper, record producer, unashamed craft follower. The purpose of the content that I post in general, but also especially with the live stream, is to entertain, empower, inspire, empower, and like-minded producers, like-minded artists, specifically people who make a lot of their music independently. That's the type of stuff that that's the audience that I enjoy speaking to. That's the type of people who I enjoy engaging with. So yeah, what we do over here on the live stream is I break down my beat making process. I just open up my DAW and just get away to creating. And throughout the stream, if people have questions that have to do with music production, anything I'm doing with the beat itself, anything with music business, or even just general topics. We even talk about gear every now and then on here, even though I'm not really a gearhead like that. If we just talk about anything like that, just want to provide. So can we do sampling? Are you talking about like, you want me to do sample something, or are you talking about like, is it okay for other people to sample? Cause yeah, I am doing this on YouTube, so I don't know if that would be like a copyright thing. Actually, I'm open to it. I might just have to make the video private later on. But yeah, if you want me to sample something, let me know. Or if you're just talking about like sampling in general, let me know as well. Okay. Oh, you said you want to learn sampling. Yeah. So I'm trying to think, what would be a cool way to, you know what I could do is actually. Cause I don't mind sampling actually. It's just I don't want to get flagged on YouTube and like any copyright stuff. But I do have loops that are like that are like played like samples that I can show you how to do actually. So actually, yeah, that'd be perfect. Let me find a loop actually. That's like different like things inside of it or whatever, and then I can show you some ways that you can flip it like a sample. So yeah, so we're gonna get started here pretty shortly. Just gotta do. For some reason the thumbnail's like not uploading on YouTube. Maybe it will now. Nope. Okay. Well, let me get this thumbnail straight on YouTube really quick, and then we'll get straight to it. I definitely have some loops on my hard drive right now that they feel like samples because they're more like live instrumentation type stuff. Either way, I can whether it's a loop or with the sample, a lot of the same principles apply. Okay, let's see. Is YouTube gonna upload the thumbnail? Okay. Let's try to figure this out. But anyways, yeah, so I love sampling. Sampling is a big part of hip hop culture. So I do encourage people to at least try it out. Even if you don't like, even if that's not like your main thing that you want to do, I would definitely encourage producers to try it out just because it is a part of hip hop culture. There are some artists who will enjoy actually. They'll enjoy it when you, they'll look for you to sample something specifically. Like if you're doing like custom production for certain artists. Oh, I see why it's not uploading now. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I'll definitely go break down some. If you have any like specific questions on sampling, let me know too. Let's see. It's gonna upload now. Okay, well, there we go. Okay, cool. So YouTube's looking straight. Let's go ahead and get to work. So let's go ahead and shut the music off for Spotify. Close that. Cool. All right, let's get into this. So yeah, let me know if you have any specific questions on sampling, and I'll be very happy to answer them for you. So let's go over here. Oh, well, sharing my screen would probably help too, wouldn't it? There we go. Cool. So in the building on YouTube. Awesome. So yeah, so let me know if you have any specific questions on sampling. I'll go over some so fit the sample to the tempo. Oh, that's super easy. Super easy. So okay, where's my folder? Okay, so that part's really easy. And produced by Fawn, do you use Logic? Because I know how to do it in Logic. I don't know how the specific steps to do it in other DAWs, but in Logic is really easy. First, let's go ahead and use FL. Okay, dope. So move the light over to your right. Okay, let's get that right. So okay, so I don't use FL. I've worked with someone before. Okay, it looks like that glare is just gonna stay right there for right now. I did move it pretty far back. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I haven't used FL specifically. I've used it when I was working with like other artists. Wait. Oh, you know what? Because I moved the wrong light. Hold up. Okay, that's pretty much about as good as that's gonna get. But anyways, so I haven't used FL myself. I've worked with other producers who use FL, so I can't answer questions specifically on FL. A lot of the same principles apply. A lot of the same principles do carry over. Just the actual what's it called? The controls and stuff, they're like just slightly different, but it's like the same concept. So yeah, that's better. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead. I don't know what folder we're gonna go into right now, but let's find something. Let's see what's in here. Okay, cool. That's a perfect example. Okay, so starting out, a lot of loops or if you're sampling something online, I can show you how to find the tempo for that too. If you're using a loop, for example, a lot of loops, they have the BPM inside of the file name, right? So like if you see over, I'm not sure how, can I enlarge this actually? Oh, I can. Okay, cool. So it's still kind of small, but if you see that right there, if you're looking at like the title of the file names, it has the BPM inside of the file name, right? There's a way you can find this too. If like, let's say you're sampling something from YouTube or sampling like a vinyl or something like that, where you can also find the tempo. But anyways, if you're using like a loop, for example, if it has the tempo in it right there, after you drag it in to Logic, or well, in your case it will be FL, but after you drag it into your DAW, all you need to do is just change the tempo of the project file itself. Oop, let's type that in correctly. 130. And now it's lined up perfectly, right? And that itself is pretty easy. It's also, so like if you dragged it over here, you know, like that's offbeat. So then you always have to make sure that first of all, the project file is you always have to make sure that the project file is linked up to the tempo of the loop itself, right? Let's say also now, like let's say you like this loop or you like the sample, but now you want to let's say you want to speed it up or slow it down. So I don't know how you do it in FL. I know there is a way that you can do it in FL. I just don't know what it's called in there. In Logic, what you do is there's this knob right here called Flex. Like Flex, what's it called? Oh yeah, it's just called Flex, and then it has different modes within it. So in Logic, you just go over here, you click the Flex button, then you go over to Flex Time. I do polyphonic because since there are multiple elements playing, you know, like chords and different things inside of the loop. So do that, and now that loop is gonna follow the tempo of the project file, no matter how fast or slow I make it. So that's like 161. Let's slow it down to like let's slow it down to 98. So now no matter like so now that I have flex time enabled, pretty much whenever or no matter how fast or slow I make the project session itself, it's going to follow it, right? I know there definitely is a way that you can do an FL, just don't know how. And also what you can do, so that part is really easy. And then also the harder part, I guess, would be actually finding the tempo. If let's say for some reason the sample or the loop didn't have the BPM inside of it, or if it didn't have or like if you are sampling something from like let's say like YouTube or like your favorite song from that you got off a CD or a vinyl. So what you could do is inside of, I don't know if it has this in FL. In Logic we have a Bpm counter. It's more accurate when you're using audio that has drums inside of it, but let's say like this for example, it's at 98 BPM right now. Let's turn the metronome off. Let's see if it's gonna catch it. Let's wait. Okay, yeah, so yeah, that does work a lot better, or it works easier with drums. I wish the BPM counter would be a little bit easier to work with the audio like this, where it's no real. Okay, there we go. It takes a little while longer, so like 97, 98. So if FL has something like that, you also could use that. Sometimes you may just have to like also just kind of like tap it out and try to get pretty close to the tempo. Or another thing you could do, like let's say for example you're sampling a popular song, right? See if we can open this window up really quick. Oop, come on, open as a different window. Okay, so let's say for example you're sampling, I don't know, an Earth, Wind and Fire song, right? So I chose them as an example because they use a lot of live instrumentation. I think there's like some music out there where like when they're using live instruments, they're not like perfectly synced to the beat. So like sometimes the BPM counter could be a little off that way too. So you could look up something like, I can't think of an Earth, Wind and Fire song off the top of my head. I'll just Google them really quick. Just see whatever the first song pops up. Let's see what pops up. Okay, let's see. Earth, Wind and Fire, September, BPM. You could Google something like that. Works for and there you go. So the tempo of that song right there is 124 BPM. So if you were to sample that song, and if you were struggling to be able to find the tempo of it inside of your DAW, that was 124, and now you can just switch your project file your project file to that BPM. And then if for some reason if none of that is able to work, simple thing, or not the simple thing, but the next step would really be you would just have to chop it up a little bit and then kind of just manually sync it to sync it to a tempo. So in the building on Twitch sounds good. Awesome. And produced by Fawn. If you're still in here, let me know if all that's making sense. So yeah, so there are multiple ways that you can flip a sample. I think I'm gonna stick with using this one actually, and I'm gonna go in and maybe chop it up in Quick Sampler and Logic. I know FL has a thing called, I think it's called like Fruity Slicer or FL Slicer, something like that. So you're following. Awesome. Let me know. I know I talk pretty fast. Let me know if all that's if anything that's making sense. If you want me to explain anything in better detail. Hey, look. Oh, hey, Monet. How you doing? Monet on YouTube. Monet Canada. Hey, Marquis. Thanks again for responding to my questions about DistroKid. I've been trying to sort things out, but I'm finally ready to start releasing stuff. That's awesome. Glad to hear that. Glad I could help you as well. And yeah, let me know when your music is out too, and I'll definitely go over and check it out. Looking forward to hearing more music from you, Monet. So yeah. So what was I saying about sampling? Oh yeah. So also another thing, so when it comes to sampling too, there are multiple things that you can do when you're flipping a sample. There's no right or wrong way to do anything because this music is all about being creative. So what some people do is when they find a loop or like a sample that they want to use, some people literally drag it into their DAW as is, leave it there, and then just put drums over it. I'm going to appreciate you. Awesome, appreciate you. So some people, they'll just take a sample or they'll take a loop, they'll just drag it inside of their DAW, leave it as is, just add drums and call it a day. That's not necessarily the wrong thing to do per se. Like an artist, if you did that and you send the beat to an artist, if the beat's good, the artist is not gonna care because all they really care about is, does the beat sound good? For real. So that's something you could do, not necessarily wrong. The reason why I pretty much always stray against that, unless I'm working with an artist who specifically wants me just to leave something as is. The reason why I stray away from just dropping a loop or a sample and just leaving it as is and just throwing drums over it is because, at least for me, I still want to make the beat sound like me. I still want it to be a representation of my sound. And also, since someone else out there possibly has the same sample or the same loop as you, no matter if it's a loop that you get off a splice or if it's a sample from like a popular song from the 60s, that original form is still out there, and it is possible, unless it's like some just really random hidden stuff that you find in the sample. It is very possible and likely that someone else has access to the same thing that you're sampling. So for me, I like to make, if I am sampling something, whether if it is an actual sample or whether it's a loop, I like to manipulate it in some way to make it my own thing. So and just making my own. It won't necessarily be like 100% of my own creation, right? But it will still like be something new that I'm making from it. That might have been all over the place, but anyways. So the way that I personally do that is, this loop, for example, was at 130 BPM. So what I would do if I'm approaching this is I'm gonna slow it down, or I'd speed it up so it's not the original tempo. I'll also go in and actually change the key of the loop or the sample as well. So right now it's in B minor. I don't know how you do I don't know how you would do that in FL, but in Logic is really simple. All you gotta do is this knob over here that says transpose. Just drag it down or drag it up, and that will change the key of the sample you're working with. So here's the original key. And now here's like let's do -3. So now already it's sounding a bit different. Or let's even like, let's do hear what -6 sounds like. Like that sounds a lot different than what it originally sounded like, which was this. Right? So those are a couple things you can do to start out with. Some other stuff that you can do as well, when you're sampling, is adding different effects to the sample itself. I'm just kind of going over things from like, I guess, easiest to more complex. So the easiest thing to do to make a sample sound like your own creation: change the tempo, change the key. Those are really easy. And especially if the sample's already sounding good, honestly, that'll already be good enough. You can definitely make some really dope beats with that. The artists, I'm assuming you're making beats for artists. They'll definitely be able to rock with it that way. Some other things you can do to also add some of your own style and your own flavor per se, would be to add different effects. So here's a really commonly used one. I use this on a lot of my beats, especially for when I'm making lo-fi music. This plugin right here called RC20. I chose this one just because it has some really useful, cool effects that you can make with it. That can also make it sound, or make the loop or the sample sound completely different from what it originally started out with. So let's bypass it really quick. Let me play what it sounds like at first. So this is without any effects on it. Here's with. And that's like the default preset of RC20. I'll play around with it a little. Actually, let's just go through some of the presets. Okay. I'm just gonna mess with some of the knobs really quick. So now from there, like, you're pretty much making, by messing with those different effects, you're still making the sample sound like it's your own thing. So here's what it sounds like. Bypass once again. No effects. So it sounds good. Here's with effects. So, I mean, so that might not be like I was still probably messing around with this a little bit more. That is a useful preset though, or useful setting. But even just doing stuff like that is another way you can manipulate the sample. You even can use another favorite plugin of mine actually to when I'm sampling something is where is it? Effectrix. Because Effectrix has different things on it too, where it can like kind of like rearrange and chop up your sample in different ways. And we're gonna get into sample chopping in a moment too. Effectrix, and by the way, these plugins, none of these plugins are free. They do cost a little bit of money, but I mean, if you're selling your beats, or if you're selling them, licensing them to different artists, all this stuff does it is definitely worth the investment. They will pretty much pay off at some point. But yeah, so like, but then with something like Effectrix, let me just find like a preset really quick just to show you kind of what it's doing. It adds, it does kind of like what it sounds like. It's like it adds different effects to the audio or the samples that you're using, and just also just change them up a little bit. So I don't know, random preset. Just go through a couple of them. That was aggressive as it can be. So like that sounds like nothing like the original sample. And I'm just going through pieces just to show you what it's doing. I'm not really going to use this on the actual beat, but you know, you can go through also and just add your own little stops or effects or whatever and tweak the parameters and all that. That's a really fun plugin to mess with. I can mess with that for hours. But yeah, so purpose of all that once again, it's just another way you can manipulate this, manipulate a sample, make it sound different from what it originally sounded like. And the last thing I'll show really quick before we actually start making the beat is you can chop up a sample, rearrange it, flip it, do different things with it to also further on from there make it sound different. This part does take a bit more skill, because there's an art and a skill to actually being able to find different pieces of a sample and rearrange it and make it all still sound cohesive, if that makes sense. That's a lot harder with like actual samples too than loops, but I'll show you really quick an idea I guess you can start off with a loop like this. So the way I'm using is called the plugin I'm going to use is a free plugin inside of Logic called Quick Sampler. FL Studio has something that's similar. I haven't used it, so I don't know what the differences are, but it's pretty similar. Your version of it is called, I think it's called Fruity Slicer. Someone who actually uses FL can correct me on that. But anyways, the same principles do apply. In Logic, all you need to do is just take an audio file, drag it over here, and go to Quick Sampler Optimized. And basically what that's gonna do is wait for that to load. So yeah, you're right. Okay, awesome. Yeah. So same principles will apply to FL, to Fruity Slicer. I just don't know if all the same controls are in it. But the cool thing about Logic's the sampler inside of Logic basically is that you can use it to chop up the sample and play it on your MIDI keyboard. And that will pretty much you can pretty much use it to turn your sample into your own instrument. And the way that I like to do is just to start off. So by default, it slices up by the transient, as you can see when you like zoom in on the audio file. That's not bad too. What I do, which is just easier for me and just how I like to work, is I'll go over to beat divisions, and I might pick something like it's different every time. It's not the same for like every single sample. FL might have something like this too. I might slice it by one beat, which for something like this, which it's not like a loop isn't the same thing as a sample, but for something like this, for example, this loop that pretty much is on beat and in sync with the metronome, that makes it pretty easy actually to divide it up by the beat. So here's what that would sound like. So just explaining what this is. So like if you were to play, if I played every single chop, I think that would be like actually, let me just play it real quick. I'll turn on the latency. Just mute the sample. Okay, so if I played it like this now. Oh wait, let's go down here. There we go. So I'm just right now I'm just playing it off of my MIDI controller, my machine controller actually. And the way I can, if any reason, if I don't like it being divided by one, go change it up to pretty much any quality you want. So that's just me playing in order, right? So since they're all lined up to my MIDI controller now, what I can do with this is pretty much like rearrange the sample in any way I want. So let's just mess around really quick. Okay, I'm messing around. It's not really like, the best chop in the world, just messing around with it. But like doing stuff like that, like that part right there, that does take some skill to do. But But that's like if you really want to make a sample sound completely different than the original source, like that chopping up a sample, like that's it's a really cool skill to have, a really cool skill to learn. Especially if you're doing things where like whether you're sampling an actual song or whether you're using a loop, that's that's a really cool thing to be able to do, just because another thing about using loops or samples specifically is that, or in particular, is that since other people have access to it, it's possible that someone could have made a song with the loop, right? And from there, like you're still okay. It's still okay for you to use the loop or the sample. Like if you're saying like it's 100% royalty free or anything like that, like it's okay for you to use it. But a problem that can arise is that if multiple people use the same loop, and if multiple people don't change it or don't alter it in any way, pretty much whoever uploaded it first to their distributor or their YouTube content ID, they have the ability to copyright claim other people's songs or videos that use the same loop, right? And now that wouldn't get you in trouble with, since they don't own the copyright, that's not gonna get you in trouble. You're not gonna be like sued or anything like that. But you could have a copyright claim on your video or song that uses it, and then instead of the money that's generated from that video going towards you, is going towards whoever flagged the video. And there's a really easy way to actually to refute the claim, but it does cost time. It's not that much work. It doesn't always happen. It's not that much work to refute a copyright claim. Like I've had to do that a handful of times. But it can be a little annoying. Jay Violet, how you doing? So that's why, like, whenever, for me personally, pretty much like going back full circle now, that's why for me, like, can you technically put in a loop or a sample, not change it and just add drums to it? Yes, that's perfectly fine. You are able to do that, and as long as the beat itself is dope, most artists aren't really gonna care. But if you want to be more creative, if you want to make the loop or the sample feel a lot more like your own creation, and also if you want to avoid certain things like YouTube copyright claims or YouTube content ID, whatever it's called, different things like that. I would, and also just overall, if you just want to feel a bit more creative, I would just recommend doing something like the techniques I just showed to manipulate the loop or the sample in some way and just make it sound and feel like your own creation. So that could be anything as simple from changing the BPM, changing the key signature, adding different effects, or if you want to go all out, chop it up and just make it like that. But yeah, so that was a mouthful. That's pretty much like a masterclass right there on pretty much sampling. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to that I need to like re-explain or just go into more depth on. Really hope that answers your questions. And yeah, if anyone else has any questions about any of that, anything involving sampling or just anything in general, that just happened to be the first question that was asked during the stream. If anyone has any questions about anything in general, let me know. Want to have a good conversation, some good dialogue, spread some good positive vibes, good positive energy, and yeah, let's go make some music for real now. So let's see what do I want to do. I still want to use this loop though. Let's do it. Why not? Because we're already here. Okay. Okay, you know what? I was playing around, but I don't know for sure we're gonna keep it. I'm kind of just playing around. Let's see what we can do with this real quick. Actually, I played that Wait, did I play it faster? Wait. Okay. Okay, let's quantize that. I know I did not play that in sync with the metronome at all. Should probably turn either the loop down or metronome up. Let's quantize that real quick. Okay, that's interesting. Let's slow the attack down and sampler so we can get rid of some of the clicking. Okay, so that could be like an A section. Let's see if I can find another chop for like a B section or something like that. Turn that off. There's also, I'm gonna turn. Actually, let's keep it normal for right now. Okay, cool. Okay, so what? Let's play this with a metronome. Oh, this is gonna be tricky. Can we? Okay. I don't know for sure I'm gonna have it. You know what? Okay, let's stick to this right now. This first part. I want to speed this up some too. This is feeling a little slow right now. Just rushing it. Let's try 136. Okay, we're going somewhere with this. Probably gonna be a bit more of like a chill beat. I don't know for sure. I'm gonna keep this, but we started it. Might as well build on it some more. What artists do you hear on this, by the way, too? Some lo-fi vibes. Yeah, I definitely hear that. I made some really dope lo-fi beats yesterday, by the way. Definitely gotta get back into putting the stuff out. Ooh! That clap's fire. Ooh, we're using that. Don't have to scroll to any other ones. I already know I'm gonna love that one. Taking some of those kicks out in the second half. Yeah, that one is a little extra right there, so let's take that out. Okay, let's find a hi-hat. Okay, start off with something like that maybe. Yeah, I like having my, that might need to be a little bit louder, but I like having my hi-hats relatively quiet when I'm doing, like, I guess, like, this style of beat. So add, like, one more hit at the end. Oop. Okay, let's see what other drums you can add. Excuse me. Let's see, which one am I looking for? Use some like percussion or something like that. Ooh, that could be useful. Okay, let's try that. Okay, pretty simple so far, but I'm liking it. I'm hearing like someone like a Logic or like a Griselda or someone like on like those type of lines. Okay, I want to find one more. I definitely want to find another chop because that's gonna get a bit repetitive to listen to after a while. Oh, putting on the right track would probably help. Okay, let's report something. Let's see what happens. I don't want to lose it. okay, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. I'm proud of that one. Okay, let's drag that part over. Parts overlapping. Drag that over. Oop, it's too much. Okay, drag that. And quantize. Oh wait, was one of those off? Oh yeah. Let's see, which one was that? Okay, drag that back over. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let me know what you're thinking about this so far. So I guess they could be like, those could be pretty much two different sections of a song, like a verse or a chorus, or maybe just simply just going back and forth between those during the verse. Oh wait, I might have one more actually. See, I love doing like this type of stuff when I'm trying to do this more when I'm chopping up samples, or even just loops actually. That's what I mean to say. Using like quick sample when I'm using loops. So I dig. So like if I'm like, a lot of times like loops do sound really good just when you drag and drop them in, and then of course I always do modify them in some way. Whether it is really as simply just changing the key, tempo, and adding different effects, and that stuff's cool. I love doing that too. But yeah, some like it's fun to like chop up loops and stuff like this. I need to get back into doing this more often. Nah, not gonna do that one. That's whack. Okay, nah, never mind. Not gonna do that. Okay, let's go back to. So we're definitely a bass line. Yeah, this part's gonna be fun, trying to figure out a bass line for this. Oh, okay. So we're gonna make pretty much like two different bass lines. G sharp minor. Let's put that over here. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, I messed some of that up, but let's try that, or let's go ahead and fix that. Okay, got the A section down. B section. Okay, almost got something. Okay, there we go. Okay. Nope, play that backwards. Do that one more time. Okay. Definitely getting somewhere. Definitely gotta clean this bass line up as well. Let's hear that. Drag that back over. Well, what happened to this? Hold up. Okay, undo all of that. Oh, okay. I'm sure you can do if you're like not sure if you're like playing a bass line in key, especially something like this where it's got like more subby frequencies inside of it. So just shift it up an octave, and that way you can like really hear the note values, especially if you're on headphones that like don't have a whole lot of bass in them. These are the ones I'm using now. They do. You can hear the bass. If you're using like other headphones or other monitors that don't really have that good of a bass response, this can really help you be able to hear the actual bass lines that you're playing. Oh, would be a good idea to hit save too. Let's hit save on this real quick. What are we gonna call this? We're gonna call this I don't know, see me. I feel like I have something like that already. I don't. Okay, cool. Okay, let's wait for that to save, get and then load back up, and then let's go ahead and fix this baseline. There we go. Okay, yeah, that works. Just gotta drag some of these notes over longer. Check that. There we go. And just shift that back down. Then like having these at full velocity. The bass anyways. Cool. Let's hear all of that so far. Oh yeah, it's a pretty good bass line for right now. Like this is like definitely something to me anyway. Feels like, you know, could be lo-fi, could be like a chill Logic type of song. Also like one of them is like boom bap, more boom bap style projects. So I'm liking where this is going so far. I feel like I want to add more drums. I guess really just more like percussion specifically. Just add like that little thing in there. Just trying like another position for that part. Well, let's do that one more time. I was talking, trying to play that at the same time. Here we go. Bruno, how you doing? How you feeling today? Doing something a little different. I make a whole lot of trap beats on the live stream. Today I'm making more like a boom bap style beat. I'm gonna add some effects to this actually. I'm a little something in terms of what else I want to add. I do want to manipulate the loop a bit more. It's a good on you. Doing great. Doing great. Had a pretty good day so far. Had a pretty productive morning actually, just doing some research on different things I want to try out. And now I'm over here in the live stream. So yeah, doing very well. Thank you so much for asking. Okay, I don't think maybe it doesn't need 8-bit. I like the warm, oops. Turn that back on. Maybe I might just keep it simple like this. I don't know, because I don't know why I can't think of another melody to add to this right now, but maybe that's all it needs for right now. So instead of being stumped, let's go ahead and start arranging. Let's drag the drums out here. Actually, I should have dragged them over to the right one more, whatever. But anyways, of course, let me know what you're thinking about the beat. Let me know if you have any questions, if there's any topics that you'd like to discuss. Let's go ahead and start arranging this beat. Sounding pretty good so far. It's pretty simple actually. Got a couple different chops going on with the loop that we chose here today. I want to add some more melodies and stuff to it. I guess I'll come back to it and add some more as we go along. So I don't want it to just be the loop the entire time. But let's go ahead and, yeah, because I can't think of anything right now. So instead of just thinking about it too much, we're just gonna keep it moving. Ooh, actually, wait, it might sound cool. Maybe I'll just start off with the drums. Or no. Okay, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna mute those. Yeah, like 2 bars, and then the drums come in. Then the rest of that drops. Drag those back over. Let's fucking open hi-hat because I had an idea for the intro. I'm gonna hold that one for right now. Let's go through a couple more. Okay, let's keep that first one for right now, actually. Ooh, okay, you know what? Let's for the chorus, because this part right here will be what I'm gonna label as the chorus right now. So maybe let's change this part up a little bit. Ooh, okay, that's perfect. That'll be the chorus. Just change the ending up a little bit. And that's how we're gonna start the verse off. And then maybe just go back and forth from there during the verse. So I guess that'd be like verse A. Trying to get this a little bit organized right now first, and then I'm gonna go through and make the arrangement a bit more interesting. So okay, so verse 1A. Yeah, let's just duplicate all that. And that will be the B section. And then of course the hook will come back in. Okay. So I think when this part comes in, I'll like drop the drums for like 1 beat and then keep the bass, but keep the bass in the loop rocking as they are. Okay, so then this part and then that B section will come back in. I think I should change the bass line. I'll change the bass line up here a little bit too, instead of just taking it all the way out. Then the chorus will come back in. And yeah, that's pretty much the beat for real. And then it's just kind of just gonna then from there's pretty much, I think I'll add a couple different parts in the second verse. That's pretty much the whole thing right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy and paste all that. And then, okay, delete. Okay, no. Okay, in this part, let's drop the bass out. Maybe just, I don't know, keep it out the entire time. It sounded cool. Listen to it. Yeah, we're almost there with this one, actually. So, I mean, like, unless I'm gonna add some more instruments later, this is pretty much like 90% of the beat. Yeah, I'll just keep the bass out for the rest of this. For that section. Gotta be the same as the first verse. Okay, then I think we'll end the song, or the beat rather, that B section one more time. Maybe have the bass in for, so I'm probably not gonna have drums, but maybe have the bass in there for like briefly. Take it up for the rest. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much the beat for right now. Let's listen to it from the top and let's hear what we want to see if there's anything else we want to do. Tune rolled. How you doing? You said what you got as an interface. I used the Universal Audio Apollo Twin. Got the quad core version of it. I love the Apollo. I actually started off, great question by the way. I started off using the Scarlett, what was it? It was the Focus, the Scarlett, yeah, the Focusrite Scarlett. Had, what was it? I think 8i16, I think, which I definitely did not use all those inputs at all, by the way. But yeah, I started off with the Scarlett interface. It's that version of it is the same as, you know, the Scarlett you see in most other people's studios. Mine just had a ton of inputs and outputs that I honestly did not use. But yeah, I love the Apollo as well. That's what I currently use. The reason why I use the Apollo instead of the Scarlett now is because, one, the Apollo itself, even on like the clean preamp, it does sound, or the, because with the Apollo, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it at all, but with the Apollo, you can actually model different preamps with it, like different vintage style preamps. So like the ones that come in the Scarlett interface, for example, those do sound really good. But if you want something with a bit more, with just different character to it, that sounds a bit more high quality, You can model like older vintage gear with the Apollo. So that's one of the reasons why I got it. That's what you're actually hearing me talking to right now. I'm talking to my Rode NT1 through an emulation of the SSL preamp. So yeah. But what about you? What do you use as an interface? Okay, so I'm just labeling this. Let's go ahead and listen to this beat. Let's see if there's anything else that we want to do to this for right now, and then I'll come back to this and finish it up later. 2 more says, in your opinion, MPC or machine? And another question, is it better to invest in a micro or a Mark III in 2021? Great question. So I've never used an MPC, so I honestly don't have an opinion on that specifically. Yeah, I've seen other people use an MPC, but I personally have never used one, so I can't really give a strong opinion. Okay, so I don't remember which one it is. Eldre has Eldre, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. Eldre is another producer who makes he makes like a lot of like lo-fi style music, but he also makes a lot of like beat cook-up videos and things like that. I don't remember which version of it that he has, but he has an MPC. And the one thing about that, whatever version he had that I like more than the machine actually, is that it actually has built-in speakers. So, like for example, like with the Machine Plus, that one's standalone, but you need your own speakers to connect to it if you're making beats on the go or in the studio. Whereas with the Eldre's version of the MPC, whichever one it is, my bad for not knowing. With that one, it does have speakers on it, which makes it like 100% portable. Oh, it's got its own speakers and its own battery, which to me, like that's cool about it. I don't know what the difference is between using let's move that. See, there's a mistake right there. I don't know what the difference is between using that MPC as like a MIDI controller, if it can be used as one. I don't know what the difference between that in itself would be. But now you said, is it better to invest in a micro or a Mark III? For me personally, I would recommend the Mark III. Unless, okay, no, let me backtrack that. If budget is not a question, I would get the Mark III. Because you can find it, I don't know what the price is, but you can, since the Mark III's been out for several years at this point, I think it may be out, maybe not for like maybe 4 years at this point, I don't know for sure. But since it has been out for a while, you can get it used off of like, you know, websites like eBay, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace for less than the retail price at Native Instruments, first of all. So I mean, exact same thing with the micro. But for me, if money is not the main concern, I would go with the Mark III because there's more control with it versus the micro. It's even portable. Like the micro definitely is more portable than the Mark III, but the Mark III is very portable as well. Like I just throw it when I'm on the go. I throw it in my backpack, and I still have room in there to put in like my headphones. I could squeeze in my laptop case in there if I wanted to. It's not like the best idea in the world. But yeah, I can just throw the Mark III in a backpack and call it a day. And then I have like a laptop sleeve from my laptop. So I mean, that's really portable on its own. So the only thing the micro has over the Mark III is just that it's smaller and that it's easier to carry around. That's literally it. In terms of functionality though, the Mark III is where it's at. But yeah, so dogs are barking up a storm. Anyways, yeah, so that pretty much. Yeah, that beat's pretty much done and wrapped up. I think this is sounding good so far. It's probably gonna be more I'm going to add to it later because it does. I mean, it is a pretty simple beat. Maybe it doesn't need as much as I think it would. But anyways, I think this would be a good time to wrap up. So unless we have any other questions that we want to questions or topics that we want to cover really quick, this is where we're going to wrap up for today. Yeah, so once again, I am happy with how this beat turned out, and yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, yeah, this is definitely something I would hear someone like, you know, like someone like Logic, someone like, anyone from Griselda, people like them, I could hear them rapping over this. Pretty simple beat, dope. And this was a pretty fun stream too. Like we got on this wave right here because we were originally talking about who was it? Produced by Fawn. He originally asked a question on sampling. So I just broke down some of like pretty much like the basics of sampling, especially with things that you can do inside of Logic Pro. Yeah, we broke down how to pretty much all the ways I can think of off the top of my head on how to manipulate a sample. Talked about, first of all, how do you find the tempo of a sample at first, whether you're using a loop that has the tempo inside of the file name, or if you're sampling something from like a CD or a vinyl or anything like that. We went over how to sync the loop or the sample to your DAW, how to get it to follow whatever tempo you want to go over, or how to follow any tempo you want to use, and different effects you can put on it to manipulate it, as well as how to chop them up. So yeah, and then I just demonstrated something you could do in this video right here. Pretty much did all of that actually on this video, in this beat right here. Pretty much did all of that. I chopped up the loop, added not a whole lot of effects. I added like one effect on it so far, the Tape Boy from Curtis King. It's easily one of my favorite plugins to use for like beats like this. Had like an A section and a B section where there are two different chops going on for the loop, and also, oh yeah, and I sped it up and pitched it up a bit. So yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. Pretty dope stream. Had a pretty good conversation started off, and that's awesome. So this is where we're going to wrap up for today. Got some more work that I had to do. And yeah, if you're so once again, not once again. First of all, thank you all so much for tuning in to the live stream. If you had me a first time, or if this happens to be your first time watching this, we go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I said I was gonna do this last week, and I got caught up with other stuff. But what I am going to do is I'm going to make a Discord server to where that could be another place of contact for us to all to engage with each other. But I do want to transition at some point. I want to transition the live streams from either, maybe not transition completely, but what I want to do is, in addition to watching me pretty much make beats from start to finish and also answering questions like this, I also want to open up to be a place where people can get feedback from the beats or the songs, so that way we can be even more engaging. Might not. Oh, Bruno says, thanks, man, but I have to go now. Have a nice evening. Thank you so much, Bruno, for tuning in. Yeah, we're wrapping up right now anyway, so appreciate you, Bruno. You have a great great evening. I was about to say great day. So yeah, so I wanna make the Discord. So I started it. I just need to finish it and then just start posting about it. But yeah, so basically what I want to do is make a Discord server where we can all pretty much go in there, link up, and interact with each other whenever we're not also on the YouTube channel or anywhere else where you happen to watch my content. But also I want to have a section in there where people can submit music, submit their beats, their songs, so that way we can give feedback to them over here on the live stream. Every now and then people do pop in and they ask for feedback on their music, and it's cool. I don't mind doing it, but also like whenever they do ask, a lot of times in the middle of me making a beat, which it can work, but I just wanted to be a bit more structured. So because like, let's say for example, like if I stopped the beat while I was working on it, was giving feedback to someone, and then someone just didn't know, like, or someone came into the live stream expecting one thing and then got something else. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world because we're still building up the audience for this, but I do want to make it more organized, more structured in a way, like if we are giving feedback like that. And also I think you can get more out of me giving feedback to your music versus just kind of just watching me make beats, even though I think you can get some stuff out of this as well. It's just another way I want to be able to add value to people, and I think that would in theory be a bit more engaging with people as well. So yeah, so I just gotta finish the server up, and then just start posting about it and start building the community inside of there. So yeah, that's on me. I said I would do that like a while ago, and I didn't, and I got pretty much like one other like really time consuming project. I don't know if that's the right word, but anyways, I got like one other like major project I got to work on, and then I can really just pretty much knock that out. So once there's like a decent amount of people in there who's able to submit songs, then at least it could be either just a segment of the live stream, or maybe one of two of them throughout the week will be specifically for feedback. And yeah, it could just be like specifically for giving feedback, giving advice, giving critiques, maybe even eventually like a Q&A type of thing. But yeah, so I'm rambling on at this point. But anyways, that's the direction that I do want to take the live streams into. And yeah, so I do appreciate everyone so much for tuning in. If you have been watching this on YouTube, if you haven't already, we'll greatly appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button. So that way you can tell YouTube that you enjoyed this type of content, and that other people like you will also enjoy this type of content. Also, subscribe and turn on notifications so you know whenever I upload new videos.